Hi guys, hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me Ogechi, welcome. So for this video I'll be speaking to you about being positive and having some level of inner peace, and this video is actually inspired by things that will happen today, both in my workplace pretty much. So let's begin. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to this channel. You could go to my channel and find out more on the topics I speak about. I speak on religious, social issues and give life advice to life issues and spiritual issues or spiritual advice. I also do some cooking and also do a bit of here and there makeup and product review. So yep, so I'll definitely advise you go to my channel, check it out and see if you like it. And whilst you're there, please do subscribe and give a like to this video if you like it. I also want to introduce you to my blog channels, which is Reflecting Thoughts by Talkinsen, and that's the blog title or website. I'll put the link below, and I've got a Twitter / Instagram that you can also check out. All the details will be down below. So let's talk about the topic I'm talking about today. So positive mind and inner peace. So I'll tell you the first thing that inspired these thoughts, the things that happened at work that inspired this video is one. I was speaking to someone about Brexit, and we were talking about all the things that are happening about Brexit and like what will happen, what the future holds, about job stability, food and things rising, the cost of living rising. So as we were discussing about it, I said to her, listen, I'm not really I'm not really worried about it, because what will happen will happen. We've done our own parts. We were given a referendum to vote, and that was our own part, what we could do, and we voted and the vote came out how it came out. So we are now going to be leaving the EU. So if the vote comes back to us that we have to make a decision, that's when we have the time to worry about it and then make that decision. At this moment, the people that should be worrying the most is the politicians who are making the decisions on our behalf. Now, this doesn't mean that if it affects your job or like your livelihood, you shouldn't be worried. Totally, you should be. But I think for me, what made me not really worry about it so much is because I've been making plans in my life and putting some things away, upskilling myself and developing myself for some time now, and I've got myself to a good level of education, a good level of skill based on work, and save myself some, I started saving myself some money. And so when these things are going on, I'm thinking, well, you know what, there's actually a reason why I'm not so worried about it. Is because I have some level of inner peace about it. I see it from a very positive way. I see it as a positive where more jobs will be created. I see it positively where people from other places of the world will be invited to work, and it may not be just UK first, EU first, second, and then other race. Everyone will have more of a plain sailing to at least try and be considered for a work. Well, after the citizens. I guess. But anyways, my point is that I feel like it will open the doors for Africans to come in as well, to come and work. So that is one of the things that really, like, I'm like, well, if you see it from that positive perspective, it's positive to some people and negative to some people. And I think the reason why I had some level of positivity and inner peace about it was because I looked at my life then, I was like, actually, there has been things I've been doing to keep myself checked. There have been plans, I've been making plans, knowingly or unknowingly. I wasn't doing it for Brexit, I was doing it for myself. So come rain, come sunshine, whatever happens, I should not be so worried as some other people may be, people that haven't made a plan for their lives about this whole Brexit thing. I should not be so worried about it. I was meant to go on holiday before the Brexit, but then I looked at the prices of things. Things were very costly, or it wasn't to my budget. So I'm like, listen, I'm going to leave that, and when Brexit finish happening, then we can make a plan of how to travel to to other Eurozones. So that's another thing. You need to make contingency plans for yourself, whether the cost of living rises or doesn't. Right, I've come to manage myself and manage my budget, and so I know how to spend to some good degree. And apart from food, in all honesty, I don't spend money on so many other things, including makeup. I mean, I buy 2 foundation in a whole year, or maybe 1. So you need to be able to let go of things and know the things that are more important than the things that are not important. So you need to make plans for yourself in that regard. And also you need to be able to know how it affects you. Why worry about it if you don't actually know how it affects you? What will happen will happen. We don't know what the future holds. Whether we come out or don't come out, we would never know. So my point then is, in having positive mind, is that, one, you have to create a positivity in your life. You have to create some level of comfort and security to your life, to actually find yourself in a state of negative positive spirit, to be positive. So positive spirit is not about being self-righteous. It's not about saying yes to everything. It's not about being selfish and doing things that makes you happy. It's not about saying no to things that doesn't make you happy. And it's not about always being positive and ignoring evil that is going around. No, you have to stand up for those things and speak out against them. So positivity to me is a skill that we all have to learn. It's about planning. It's about choosing to do what is right because it is right. Okay, it's about making the necessary changes in your life to be positive. Secondly, positivity is about changing your mindset. You have to be able to look at things from a positive perspective. And who has worry helped before? Worry helps no one. You can worry all your life. If you haven't got things to try and solve it, if you're not a problem solver, you will worry for the rest of your life. Believe me, you will worry for the rest of your life. So for me, you have to some degree, control your thoughts. Okay, in most cases our mind always focuses on the negative things rather than the positive things, and we have to train our mind to focus on the positive things. Okay, we have to be willing to shut off the negative thoughts, either with words or thoughts that replaces negative to positive, or by speaking out positive. You know, sometimes when you find yourself in the midst of worry, anxiety and sadness, sometimes giving yourself some level of distraction, let's say playing a good music would ultimately change your mind. I personally like listening to instrumental music when things like that happens, because they don't have no words to it. Rather, it just slowly and subtly takes away the worry or redirects my attention to something else, rather than adding more to my thoughts. Do you know what I mean? So find yourself some positive music, positive things to do. Go outside, enjoy the weather, appreciate things that are around you. There is a lot of things about practicing mindfulness nowadays. Be mindful of the things that are around you before they go. With all the things that are happening about Brexit, or all the things that are happening in your own mind and in your own life issues to say, do things that I find the ones that are positive. Do things that are positive. I'll give you another example. What inspired this video is, I was helping a client today, and so she decided to research about anxiety, and she took her time to research things on anxiety issues and ways to overcome anxiety, which is absolutely great and positive in its own. So we decided to search for something else, and decided to search for happiness. how to be happy, what makes you happy. You know, the funny thing about this thing is that for the anxiety one, she took her time and read through it, even made notes. However, when it came to the positive, where is happiness, finding happiness, knowing what happiness is, she literally skimmed through the page and was about to leave that page. I said to her, no, you need to go back to that and read through it, make notes like the way you made for the anxiety ones. And she's like, well, I already have happiness, I already know how happiness is. I said to her, so why are you searching for anxiety if you're already happy? Why are you searching for ways to overcome anxiety if you're already happy? And then literally she listened to my advice and she sat down and read through the happiness and made really detailed notes about happiness, the things that could help make you happy, how to go about finding happiness and all those things. So what is my point in this is that sometimes our mind is so focused on the negative. It's the negative that attracts our attention. It's the negative that keeps our attention sustained. However, the positive, we feel like we've already gotten it when we know we have not. Okay? The positive, we skim through it. If someone told someone that, oh, this person passed their exam or something like that, you're like, oh, congratulations. What did she get? Then that's it. However, if someone told us, let's say someone had an accident. Oh, see, the details of that accident will be known. Who did it? When did this happen? How did that happen? Was she being reckless? Was he being reckless? Or maybe it's the devil that caused the accident. Maybe this and that. Listen, we start giving it story. We start filling it up. And we start making it even stronger than what it is. Rather with happiness, we're not really bothered. We just ask some few questions and go. So what is my point is that it really takes grace. It takes the grace of God for us to focus on what is positive rather than what is negative, because our mind, for some reason, I don't know why, because sometimes I wonder who created this mind. Are they sure it's God? Life circumstances and things that we see or hear about causes our mind to be thinking more negative than it is of positive. So, you know, after reflecting these things, I realized obviously it takes the grace of God to actually be positive. And I have written a blog about this issue, about the overwhelming grace of God, because sometimes we find ourselves in a state of self-condemnation. Sometimes we also forget how to smile. We forget the importance of good memories. We forget the importance of tapping into the good rather than the bad. We forget the importance of smiling to ourselves, most importantly. And these are things I have written on my blog. I'm going to read out to you some of the things I spoke about on these topics, about the importance of smiling, especially to ourselves. Okay, give me a minute. So, about the importance of smiling. On this, I spoke that most of the time, as I mentioned, we forget to smile at ourselves, and we often smile at others, either out of politeness or out of awkwardness, or simply we don't even know what is going on. We just smiled. Okay. But however, I was like, sometimes when I smile at myself, some people will be like, why are you smiling? I mean, sometimes I do that to my sister at times. Like, why are you smiling? And this is a normal question that people will ask. But many people in that time when they're asking those questions are often asking it in like out of curiosity or out of wanting to say something negative. However, I often do not mind those things, because at that moment I'm in my present thoughts of happiness, because it really, really, believe it or not, it takes a really positive person to always tap into their positive thoughts. It takes a positive person to tap into the good things that they've done rather than the bad. It takes a positive person to remember the good and the happiness that are in that good. Okay? And to act on the good as well. So I said, like, when you remember, like, when you smile in remembrance of a thought, feelings, or prior events. And this simply shows that you can tap into your positive mind in the midst of worry, anxiety, and sadness. Now, this is very special. I mentioned that it really takes virtue and the grace of God to smile. Have you seen people that are depressed? Or those that simply have negative minds? most of them find it very difficult to smile. You know, when people lose hope, that's when people commit suicide, because they've forgotten about those memories. They've forgotten about the positive memories that are there. Okay, lack of hope leads to sadness, stress, depression, and just downright anger. Okay, so these are things that we need to look into. Another thing I mentioned about smile being a skill is a physical skill that not everyone can formulate. I have come to realize some people cannot formulate smile properly. It really does take a lot of physical coordination of the face to give a good smile. Yeah. So I'll advise you to go to my blog channel, Reflecting Thoughts by Talkinsen, to know more about this. I also talk about how the overwhelming grace of God allows us not to feel self-condemned in things that we've done, because again, something that could make us leave us in a negative spirit or negative space is the things that we've done to ourselves or against others or against ourselves. So for example, lying it makes you worried, because it means that you have to protect the lie every single time, because you have to remember the lie and you have to keep up the lie, compared to telling the truth. Whether someone believes you or not, it doesn't matter to you, because you continue living in your truth. Okay, so in regards to self-condemnation, I mentioned that sometimes self-condemnation is a thief of happiness, because it stops us from receiving God's grace in our life and leads us to doubt and make us have a lot of problems, okay, against ourselves. So one verse that I go to often when I find myself feeling self-condemned is from the Gospel of John. This is chapter 3, verse 16 to 18, and it says this. I'm reading from the New International Bible Version. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever doesn't stand already condemned, because they have not believed in the name of God's one and only Son. Okay, now for me there are two things that stands out from that verse. One is the word believe, another one is save. I wonder which one stands out for you, but those two ones, it just makes it clear. You have to believe that you are good. You have to believe in God. You have to believe in things being good to you. You have to believe in receiving positive things. And another one that says is save. God does not hate us. Sometimes we feel like God hates us. God is not there to condemn us always. God is not even there to condemn us, because he's told you he loves you so much that he sent his only Son, so that you could be saved from these thoughts of self-condemnation and negative spirits. Also, I spoke about another topic on negative spirits on my channel, and how to how to tackle those issues, people like that, and spirits or inner spirits like that as well. So a guilty mind often will look at the word condemn, and this is what a negative mind always look into. See, they focus on that word condemn rather than the amount of things that God said. I love the word believe in me. I love the word save. Okay, most of the time the negative spirit or the negative mind will look at that word condemn and overblow it and just take it to a greater level by filling it in with a lot of more negative stuff. So what is my point is that it takes the grace of God to have inner peace, and inner peace to me then means that you have to shut out negative thinking. You have to make plans for yourself to feel some level of security physically and spiritually as well, and emotionally. You have to be able to protect yourself in those areas. Another one that I have mentioned here is that you have to train your mind to think positive. You have to train your mind. You have to invest in reading the positive rather than the negative. Like that example I told you about anxiety and happiness, is you have to focus on the happiness. Forget the anxiety. You always know when you're anxious. Okay, happiness is something that many people forget to do. that is actually something that is practical. It's not something that you just feel. It comes up through you when you are happy. You bless others with your happiness, with your smile. You bless others, and it heals the soul. Okay. And another thing that I've mentioned is that you need to be believing that positivity can happen to you. You need to believe that God is not here to condemn you. You need to believe. You need to stop condemning yourself. Self-condemnation is the dream thief of happiness. That is a key word for you. Okay. So, and inner peace as well. So you need to stop those things. If condemn, that word condemn is always speaking to you, then maybe you need to look into your life and see the things that you've been doing that could stop you from gaining that level of inner peace in your life. Okay, so until next time, I will say take care, and please do not forget to subscribe again, and I will see you in my next vlog. If you have anything that you wish to ask me, my channel email could be found in my blog channel, which is Reflecting Thoughts by Talkinsen. I also have Twitter accounts and Instagram. If you go to my channel, you see the list of the things that I have, and you can follow the link below. I'll put the descriptions and everything else below as well. So until next time, take care and God bless. Continue being positive. Bye.